What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey. And today, we're going to talk about this NBA playoff round 2, Game 7 matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. All right, so this game will be played at 3:30 p.m. East Coast time. The line did open up over under 209, New York -2. The line has since moved down over under 207.5, New York -3.5. All right, so the Indiana Pacers are looking to reach their first conference finals appearance since the 2013-2014 season. All right, the Pacers are 1-5 straight up on the road in these playoffs. They're averaging 112.9 points on 49.4% shooting and allowing 110 points, 0.9 points on 47.1% shooting. All right, the Knicks, they're trying to get to the conference finals for the first time since 99-2000. All right, so the Knicks are 5-1 straight up at home in these playoffs. All right, remember I just said that the Pacers are 1-5 straight up on the road in these playoffs, and the Knicks are 5-1 straight up at home in these playoffs. The Knicks are averaging 110 points on 45.5% shooting and allowing 110.5 points on 47.8% shooting. All right, so when you talk about these two teams, man, you kind of first off got to go back to the very beginning of this series, man, because this has kind of been a rock'em sock'em back and forth series. That's how you get to a game 7. It's got to be a rock'em sock'em back and forth series, but not in the way that we're used to. Okay, and let's run through this. All right, so in game 1, the Knicks won in New York 121-117. First quarter, Knicks outscored Indiana 27-24. Second quarter, Pacers came back like they usually do, went up, scored 31 points to the Knicks 22 points, so they were up at halftime. But then the New York Knicks came out in the third quarter and did what they do, man. They scored 33 points to the Pacers 32 points, and then they scored 39 points to the Pacers 30 points in the fourth quarter to pull out that 4-point victory. Miles Turner did lead the Pacers in that game with 23 points on 8 of 16 shooting, only 6 free throws he shot, so he was 5 of 6 from the free throw line. While Jalen Brunson, he did his thing in that game. He had 43 points, shot 14 for 26, and shot 14 for 14 from the free throw line. All right, pay attention to those free throw numbers because that's how the New York Knicks kind of slow the Pacers down by drawing those fouls, and they're able to slow the game down enough because of the fact that they have so many injured players, you know. But all right, let's get into this, how this game ended up breaking down. The Pacers shot 52.3% from the field, whereas the Knicks shot 53.7% from the field. But in that game, the Knicks this was the difference. The Knicks shot 47.8% from 3, whereas the Pacers only shot 38.5% from 3, which ain't bad, but that 47.8% allows you to be able to turn the ball over 15 times to the Pacers only 8 turnovers. And when you rebound a team 40-32 like the Knicks did, then you come up with a victory, man. And you'll see that's a common thread throughout this series, because in game 2, when the Knicks won 130-121 in New York, okay, the Knicks came out, and in the first quarter, okay, the Knicks scored 36 points to the Pacers 36 points. And then in the second quarter, the Pacers did what they do again, big run, 37 to the Knicks 27, so they go up, right? But then in the third quarter, the Pacers don't even show up. All right, Pacers score 18 points to the Knicks 36, and then the Knicks score 31 points to the Pacers 30 in the fourth quarter to win the game 130-121. All right, Halliburton had 34 points in that game. He shot 11 of 19, 5 of 6 from the free throw. Brunson, 29 points, 11 of 18, and 4 for 6 from the free throw. But the difference in the game was these factors right here. All right, the Pacers shot 51.6% from the field, whereas the Knicks shot off the chain 57% from the field. Both of them did good from 3, because the Pacers shot 44.1% from 3, and the Knicks shot 46.7% from 3. The Knicks still turned it over more times, with 11 turnovers to the Pacers 9, but once again, they out-rebounded them 44-34, and that's the key. It all comes down to who you trust is going to go out there and actually go fight for that ball in these games, man, especially in the way these playoffs have been going. So when you look at game 3, the Pacers won 111-106. This is back in Fieldhouse, all right? Pacers won the first quarter 29-20. Knicks won the second quarter 38-34, but that puts the Pacers still up in that halftime, all right? And then the third quarter, the Pacers once again didn't show up. They scored 22 points to the Knicks 32. All right. But in the fourth quarter, the Knicks didn't show up. The Knicks only scored 16 points, man. And the Pacers went out there and put 26 points up. All right. Now, Dante DiVincenzo went off the chain in this game. He scored 35 points on 12 of 26 shooting. And Halliburton scored 35 points in this game as well. Knicks shot 47.5% from field. Pacers shot 47.2% from field. Knicks shot off the chain 51.9% from three. Whereas the Pacers you couldn't be more off than this. They shot 37.5% from three in this game and still won the game, guys. All right, now, why they won the game is because of the fact that they only turned the ball over 10 times versus the Knicks turning the ball over 13 times in that game. And then they out-rebounded them by one rebound, 42 to 41 rebounds. All right, so once again, it comes down to the rebounds, guys. Rebounds and really the way the Knicks shoot the three is what's kept them in these games because they've been turning the ball over left and right. All right, so when you go to game four, the Knicks got there behind, kicked 121 to 89. All right. Now, Alex Burks led the Knicks with 20 points, and Halliburton had 20 points. Pacers shot 56.8% from the field. Knicks shot 33.7% from the field. Pacers shot 45.2% from three. Knicks couldn't shoot. They shot 18.9% from three, guys. They still turned the ball over 14 times, but this time the Pacers matched them with the 14 turnovers. The difference was the fact that three-point percentage and the fact that the Pacers had 52 rebounds to the Knicks 43 rebounds. And remember, this is around the time when OG Anunoby is starting to get out of the series, which he is a key cog in what the Knicks do. They've been able to overcome it. All right. But at the same time, man, it has been a bumpy ride to try to get that done. All right. So when you look at what's happened in game five, the Knicks came out there and smacked the Pacers 121 to 91. First quarter, the Knicks won 38 to 32. Second quarter, the Knicks won 31 to 22. Third quarter, the Knicks won 27 to 21. And fourth quarter, the Knicks won 25 to 16. They smacked them all game. There was never a time where the Pacers were truly in that game, guys. Let's just be honest about that. Pascal Siakam led the team with 22 points. Jalen Brunson led the team with 44 points. We all kind of knew what was going to happen in this game just because of the fact they were going back to New York and it was going to be a fiery atmosphere and they had just got smacked. All right, so of course they're gonna come out and shoot 46.5% from the field, where the Pacers shot 43.1% from the field. What happened though, what's crazy is the Pacers actually shot better from three. They shot 44.4% from three, where the Knicks only shot 34.3%. But the problem is the Pacers turned the ball over 18 times in that game versus the Knicks only turning over 9 times. And then the Knicks out-rebounded them 53 to 29, man. Like it's ridiculous. Ridiculous how much the Knicks out-rebound them when they are in New York. Okay, so let's look at Game 6, guys. Game 6, they came back to the Pacers, and the Pacers did what they did. Pacers scored 116 points to the Knicks 103. All right, so in the first quarter, the Pacers came out and lost that quarter to the Knicks. Knicks won 30 to 29. In the second quarter, the Pacers smacked them 32 to 21, so Pacers up at half. And then after that, the Pacers did what they do, just held on to it. 27 to 24 in the third quarter and 28 to 28 in the fourth quarter, man. You know, it's not that when the Pacers get up and they get a good lead when they're at home, especially throughout this season, okay, because of the pace they like to play in and play at, they're able to hold on to leads. It's not like they play the best defense, and that's the biggest problem. They're not playing the defense, and they're not rebounding like they need to, man. You got all these trees out here, and you getting out rebounded by shooting guards. Like, let's be clear about the fact that Josh Hart came into the league as a point guard /2, all right, when the Lakers drafted him, all right, and he's still the same player. Now, the fact that he's down here getting 10 rebounds a game and doing all the stuff he's doing, I'm not putting no shade on him because he's a beast. He's a dog, right? But at the end of the day, y'all are 6'10", 6'11", 6'9". What are you doing, Obi Toppin? What are you doing, Pascal Siakam? What are you doing, Miles Turner? What are you doing? Like, we can keep going. What are y'all doing out here, man? How is this even possible that you got a 6'4" guy out here dogging y'all like that down in the boards, man? Okay, so like I said, Game 6, Pacers won 116 to 103. They held on to the lead. Pascal Siakam led the team with 25 points, where Jalen Brunson came out and scored 31. The Knicks shot 43.9% from field versus the Pacers shooting 53.8% from the field. Knicks shot out 38.2% from three. Pacers shot 34.6% from three. Both teams turned the ball over 9 times, but it comes back to the rebounds, man. The Knicks got out rebounded 47 to 35. That's 12 more rebounds, and that's mostly second chance points, and that's how that happens, man. So when we get to this game 7 right here, guys, and we're looking at what we're really thinking is going to take place, okay, the first thing that has to be understood is kind of like what these players were talking about after the game, okay, like the fact and what happened with the injury report. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that real quick, man. So on the injury report for the Pacers, only person on there is the same person been there. Benedict Mathurin, we already know he out, okay? But for the Knicks, you got some troubling stuff. You got Josh Hart. He's questionable with the abdominal. All right. Hart left last game with abdominal soreness, and it's unknown if he'll suit up against the Pacers in Game 7. Yeah, he's definitely going to suit up. I know that one. He's going to be out there. Now, OG Anunoby, I don't know about him. All right, he's still questionable. Anunoby missed the last game dealing with a left hamstring strain, and it's unclear if he's going to take part in this Game 7. And you know, he is key to how this team moves. But at the end of the day, like, there's several narratives with this series and with this game. Like, do we really think that the Knicks have a chance against Boston? Is it even going to be a series? Are they even going to win a couple games, man? Like, they might win one game in that series if they win this game. And then the Pacers will probably be a better series. I'm not seeing the Pacers go to the NBA Finals, but it'll probably be a better series than the Boston Celtics. But that's me getting ahead of myself. I mean, there's several narratives within why we would be making our picks, guys. You got to remember that the NBA wants to make money on this, right? Like, they definitely want to try to get some bread out of this, and what's going to be the better matchup. So, but when you're looking at these two teams, right? So the Pacers in the playoffs are 7-5 straight up, whereas the Knicks are also 7-5 straight up. Now, as home favorite this year, the Knicks are 41. Well, I'm sorry, they're 30. They're 29-7, guys. And then as an away underdog, okay, the Pacers are 12-17 straight up. You know, so they're not successful in this situation. The Knicks usually are. All right, now against the spread, okay, in this playoff, both teams are 6-6, so there's nothing there. Okay, when you're looking as a home favorite against the spread, the Knicks this season are 20-16, whereas as a away underdog, the Pacers are 15-13-1, and that's because they score so much, so they're able to keep the games close enough to cover that away underdog spread. You know, which by the way, this line that was at 3.5, it's moving to 3. It's moving down. Just so y'all know. Okay, it just did it. And it's up to 209, by the way, guys. That just moved as well. All right, but anyway, so the over-under on this game, both these teams are 7-5, set to the over in the playoffs. As a home favorite, the Knicks go 16 to the over and 20 to the under on the season, whereas a away underdog, the Pacers go 16 to the over, 12 to the under with one push. Now, you got to remember that these two teams have been playing a lot of overs as of late, like a lot. That's what they've been doing. As a matter of fact, all they've been doing is playing overs as far as team totals and this and that and the third, because the Pacers defense is really atrocious. Now, this is a Game 7 opportunity right here. This is what it's really all going to come down to. But before we get there, the Pacers average 109.3 points per game, whereas the Knicks have been averaging 104.3 points per game in the last 3 games. All right, and when you're looking at the way these two teams have just had their efficiency on offense in the last 3 games, everything's been pointing to Indiana offensively. No one can understand how Indiana has allowed the Knicks to do what they've been doing, besides the fact that Jalen Brunson is a beast. Now, we all know Babyface Gangster is a beast, guys, but At the end of the day, there's a whole team over there, man. What are y'all doing up there in Indiana? They don't even have like 5 players, 6 players playing for the Knicks. Y'all got 10 players playing and 9 players you running deep, man. And you still not like it. Just I don't know. There's just such things, so many things that just confuse me about this series and this game right here. At least with the way these two teams work, like what you're looking at when you look at it on paper. You know what I mean? So the Pacers have lost each of their last 11 playoff road games against Eastern Conference opponents following a win. The home team has won each of the Knicks' last 11 Eastern Conference semifinal games. The Knicks have covered the spread in each of their last 6 home games following a loss. And the Pacers have failed to cover the spread in 5 of their last 6 playoff games as underdogs against Atlantic Division opponents. The Knicks rank first in offensive rebounds per game. The Knicks rank first in the league for opponent free throw percentage. We all know the Pacers were the #1 offense in the NBA during the regular season, and right now in the postseason, their offense is still up there as far as one of the best offenses left in the playoffs. Matter of fact, they are the best offense, averaging 112.9 points per game, and the Knicks are averaging 110 points per game in these playoffs. But they're also both the worst defenses left in the playoffs. The Pacers and the Knicks are the worst defenses left in the playoffs because both of them give up 110 points per game. All right, so when I'm looking at this game and I'm trying to make a decision on which way I'm going to go, I'm going to be honest with you. I think and believe that the Pacers should be able to cover the 3.5. They really should. There should be no reason why this game shouldn't come down to the last shot. But what I would do is I would purchase a couple points on that just because, they're in New York and it's going to be a raucous crowd. And we know how DiVincenzo starts shooting, and McBride starts shooting, and Jalen Brunson starts shooting, and Josh Hart starts getting rebounds like he's Dennis Rodman. And it's just insane environment. And I'm not sure if the Pacers can actually win this. I mean, they can win this, but you got to show me, guys, that you're willing to do this. What I'm more comfortable with is actually the over. I love it over the 208, or if you can get that. I definitely am going to get there on that. I might even get there on one of these team totals or both of the team totals, because the Knicks team total is over 104.5 and the Pacers team total is over 102.5. And like I said, when you look at how these two teams have matched up the last times they've all 7 games, hold up, there it is. The Pacers scored over the 102 points in game 1. Knicks scored over their points in game 1 as well. Pacers and Knicks both scored over their points in game 2. Pacers and Knicks both scored over their points in game 3. Now game 4, okay, there was the blowout. All right, game 5, there was the blowout. But then when you go to game 6, okay, the Knicks were under this total points by 1.5 points. All right, and the Pacers, they were over once again. So the Pacers have gone over every time, minus the one game that there was a blowout between these two teams. I don't anticipate the blowout between these two teams. I anticipate a high-scoring affair. So yeah, you could get there on those team totals, guys, or just the over period. This is going to be an over game. I'm definitely comfortable with that. All right, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. I'm going to see you at the window. Peace.